gentlemen, welcome to the third and final series of this Super Sunday Smash. You know, I could just continue to add words and it would sound more and more ridiculous as we go through it. Kind of like a wrestling event, I think.
Yeah, it would be. Add sexual in there and see how that goes.
Stop freaking out the Americans. You can't do that, man.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting it's early, isn't it? These guys,
they're okay with violence, but
you have to watch the rebroadcast, guys, for these words. They have to censor it.
Indeed, it's as simple as that. The American broadcast has that censored, but it's okay because they added more violence and everyone is happy with that. Ladies and gentlemen, as we will never get invited to an American event again, it's my pleasure to bring you Evil Genius's Puma while we can. He's in the red trunks and he is playing Terran to the east of Antigua Shipyard versus his opponent. Well, this fellow is having some tough times, I've got to say, in this tournament thus far, and the French are probably not so happy about that, considering he was one of their strongest representatives. It is, of course, FnaticRCToD in the blue trunks playing Protoss to the west. And
Todd has a lot of variety, within his game. He can be very aggressive. He can, even go Nexus first. And I wouldn't even be surprised to see it on a map like this. And actually, he's queuing up probes already in this game, which leads me to believe that is going to happen. So instead of the aggression, he's going to go Nexus first. And Puma has so far not taken gas, and he doesn't look like he's planning on doing so either as he queues up another SCV here. So it could be a very, very standard one barracks into expansion play here. Nexus first, which Todd will always get the upper hand in.
Yeah, that's very true, assuming, of course, that he can defend against any kind of damage that comes his way. And Puma is looking to scout it. He sees the probe going down and is now realizing it's Nexus first. Then hello. 2 racks coming in right here from Puma. Interesting stuff. Wait a minute, there's another SCV coming along here. Is this going to be... Wow, okay. 3 racks. What is this, the beta?
Yeah, he's going for it. So I suppose he's going to have to lift up these barracks, put them on low ground. Of course, doesn't want to run Marines all the way around. But the thing is, though, will the probe of Todd run in? Will he wall off with a supply depot, which he can't afford to do at the moment? Well, he has to cut SCVs to do it. He also hasn't got an orbital command here. So does he go orbital? Does he go for a supply depot? Does the Marine kill the probe? These are the questions I'm asking myself right now. And there goes the probe, and the Marine pushes it away.
Oh, nice. Very nice. And Puma now shuts that gate, and there's no horse bolting from there. It's not going to happen. The probe needs to get out of there immediately. Puma even looking to perhaps kill it, which is not really a good start, because if that probe goes down, then Todd's basically blind. He has no map control at all. Able to get away without too much of a problem, but this is the threat right here. These 2 barracks moving down to the bottom, and the probe's going to go in again, but he's not going to see anything. The SCV, oh wow, he actually missed it, but it doesn't really matter because he can go up to the top of the ramp and he's going to see absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and he sees that there's no Marines. He sees there's no command center on the low ground. So Todd may be feeling that he's playing against a 1-1-1, of course, because he didn't scout anything. And inside the main base of Todd, we actually see Todd with a lot of Chrono Boost #1 here saved up, already spending 1 in the Zealot to clear the SCV. And he's going to have to Chrono Boost Stalkers, especially because he has no idea what's going on. Whether it be, multiple acts, whether it be a 1-1-1. So he has to, basically. I don't even say I expect him to. He has to Chrono Boost Stalkers out here.
Yeah, he's got no choice. I just love the amount of damage that SCV was able to do. Takes down the shields of a pylon and does 60 HP of damage to the building. It would be hilarious if that ended up being crucial in this fight coming in, but no, the second pylon's going to go down, so that's not going to happen. I think he realizes there's a potential weakness there, but here's what I would call weakness, Apollo. 1 Zealot versus 10 Marines.
Yeah. That's pretty weak, and I was actually looking at the control of both players there, and Puma expected Todd to not have the sickest reaction time ever to lose that Zealot. So actually microed backwards rather than forwards, and the Zealot lives because Todd has the best reaction time ever, and now he has Stalkers out. He's Chrono Boosting more Stalkers out. This is going to be a micro battle to the end of time, including these SCVs.
Yeah, Puma's throwing a lot of SCVs, and oh, the Stalker actually lives, and is Todd's control enough to deal with this? Because there's a huge amount of units that he's got to kill with only 3 Stalkers, now 4 on the field, and with SCVs to buffer damage, and one of those Stalkers badly damaged. Can he really throw this back? Let's find out. Puma's going to go for it. Takes down the Zealot quite easily, now forcing these Stalkers all the way back, but slowly but surely, I've got to say, Todd is picking this apart, and most of the SCVs are down already. Can he get backed into a corner? Probe's actually running, which I don't know if that was the best idea. Lost a few in the process, but now the Stalker's focusing fire, and oh my god, Puma just got completely annihilated, and Todd's control is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and even though he lost, let's have a look, he lost 7 probes there, but the thing is he has a double nexus, he doesn't care. Those probes were amazing there, they buffered for him really well, enabled the Stalkers to kill off the Marines, and now Todd can chrono boost into the probes, but by the looks of it, he's pylon blocked. Oh no, he's stuck at 36 supply, so can only build a few more probes here before having a pylon. That will slow him down a little bit, but to be honest, equally lost amount of SCVs gone down there. He killed 8 SCVs, only 1 command center, versus 2 Nexus. Todd's in a fantastic position here.
He is, but the question is, will he do anything with it? I think you may remember a game from DreamHack that will live forever in infamy in the annals of history for TVP, and that was Todd versus Happy. And that lasted for, what, 5 days?
Yeah, I mean, Todd's a guy that will never try to just win. And oh my god, there's a command center in the bottom right here. And
oh, wow.
yeah, Todd's on, there's a Stalker on an attack move patrol, and he's going to pick this up.
Really?
That is so incredibly smart. And also at the top left here, he's doing it on both sides, realizing that, alright, cool, I'm so far ahead. The only way I could lose this now is if a hidden expansion comes in. That is so smart.
He's going to find it as well. Oh my god. So few players actually do this, don't they? So few players scout these locations.
Yeah, that is so sick, and he gets a cancellation, and he's like, yeah, alright, even further ahead now, because that had to get cancelled. And as I was saying, you know, about Todd versus Happy, is that Todd is a guy that will secure the win. He is the Spoon Protoss, and to be honest, he doesn't need to play like that the majority of the time, and is actually going to continue with this with aggression. So we do have the Warp Prism coming, and I'm sure we'll warp in additional sentries to kind of go for it. He has enough gas, and he will be able to do damage, but not at a fast rate, man. Sentries really do have low DPS.
Yeah, they're basically tickling, honestly. But sentries in a Warp Prism, quite dangerous against a mineral line. So we'll see how good his force fields are. We've seen his Stalker control. Just how good is he with this harassment?
Yeah, we're going to have to find out, and, you know, it should be pretty good, to be honest. Stalkers at the front are going to distract Puma, is going to pull him down, and then he's going to be able to go with the Warp Prism. So let's see how much damage he does. If he nails force fields down, we could be looking at, you know, 8 to 10 SCVs really going down here, and that would be the best case scenario.
It would be. The bunkers are well in place, but he wants to distract. He doesn't want to do damage there. The pylon also going down here, interestingly enough, from the one and only Todd. Odd placement for it, I guess, but maybe it can be used to spot drops and reinforce. But here he goes. Here come the sentries, and Puma hasn't reacted quickly enough just yet. Where are the force fields? And there they are. A nice little bit of trapping here, and a follow-up warping of 4 zealots directly in there. Puma's having to get back there as quickly as he can, already taking more economic damage that he certainly can't afford after that disastrous start.
And he gets 8 SCVs, and another one, 10 SCVs in total.
Wow.
No, even further than that now, as he kills 12 or more SCVs, and that was a brilliant, brilliant harassment. Who's going to get out with everything here? Really good play by Todd.
Incredible. 21 workers killed so far. If this was a lesser player, he might have GG'd already. Puma's on 21 SCVs, up against 44 probes. He has secured the expansion at least, and he does have this base right here, which may be crucial for him, actually. This will, I would imagine, be used as a macro CC, just to try and get that SCV count back up. But Puma is so far behind at this point.
Yeah, absolutely, and Todd's got this in the bag if he doesn't make mistakes. You know, just take a third base now, have an observer on the third base to make sure that it isn't taken, and he is harassing this actually command center, so it will not even be able to build that SCV and has to get picked up, slowing down the SCV production again.
Every little thing counts here. It really is, as you said, the Spoon Protoss. He's just picking away at his opponent. Works on a supply depot as well, and honestly, Puma can't really stop him from doing that. So, it's freebies, and Todd is slowly picking at his opponent, doing damage, now taking the third behind this. He's ultra secure right now as well. He's even got this pylon that can potentially spot drops coming down the east-hand side of the map, and things are looking really good for the Frenchman.
And he does have a Warp Prism with 3 Zealots, not loaded yet on the right-hand side, but may well go soon. A Viking is there, so will help to push this away, but Todd is almost at 1-1. He can jump into 2-2, as he has the Turret Cancel, as he has Zealot Charge. He also throws down the Templar Archives. Todd's always preferred tech tree, path to go down for that, so there's no way that Puma can afford Ghosts, no way at all. So including Archons and Storm in here, this would be amazing. And Todd, like I said, just so far ahead, doesn't need to do anything now, and he can actually let Puma sit on 2 bases. But in the time that I would go, and I would advise him to go if I was his coach, would be going, hey, you know, when he tries to take that third base and comes down that ramp, that's when you kill him.
Yeah, and we've seen some fairly recent examples of horrible things happening when a Protoss gets ahead and then throws his money away. You remember a certain game by the name of Puma versus Titan at Asus ROG, if I recall correctly.
Absolutely, and you have to be so careful. And you know, even one a little bit more relevant, I guess, would be Todd versus Boxer Game 3 that we casted on Terminus, where he threw the game away there. So he has to be so careful. There's a fine balance between securing the win and throwing it away by being overly passive. So we do have a drop here by Puma going to the main base of Todd, but with Stalkers in position and an Observer and Zealot going to spot it, this should be absolutely no problem.
Yeah, he's nice and secure, and he can just continue to build up to that really great Protoss Death Ball with lots of upgrades, with all of the units he needs. He can balance his composition, but that was a little bit odd there from Todd. He actually lets that drop go in, which is totally unnecessary, and might even end up taking a few losses here and there. At least mining time has been forced, so that could have been a perfect interception. It wasn't, so a bit of a slip up there by Todd. He's got to be careful.
Well, if he gets the feedback off, he'll kill the Medivac and all the Marines inside, but it does escape.
It's not going to happen. Yeah, but more to the point, it's not getting out. Look at the position of that High Templar. If it moves any way, then that Medivac is dead. It's as simple as that. It can't move now. All Todd needs to do is just sit there.
Yeah. And he can go in, well, yeah, I guess so. So he shouldn't move. I'm just looking... upon seeing the High Templar, does Puma throw down a Ghost Cat? I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he could afford it. And, even if he does try it, he'll have, like, what, 2-3 ghosts? Feedback gone, out the game. So, he has to go for third base. He has to rely on just spreading and then splitting his units. So, it's going to be tough, but Todd does see this. He sees the expansion moving across with his observers, both of them now. This would be the time that I'd advise him to go, which he is going very smallly, but he has left that Medivac open.
I don't like that. I really don't like that. That was unnecessary, I feel. Maybe he just wanted to get all his Templar up there, but that drop could potentially be a real pain, because then we would see the same thing that Todd did to Puma earlier, which was you attack from the front and then you hit from behind and you're able to do some damage. Nice pick up there by Puma, nails that down, and that is a big drop looking to go through to the main here.
Warp Prism as well, actually coming into play into the main base of Puma, and evades the Viking here and will deploy. How much damage will that do as well? But as you said, 3 Medivacs to the main base of Todd also.
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous. And the Medivac's coming in there. That's just why you don't do that. Don't leave it. And look at what he's going to be able to do here. Supply block comes in as well. So no warp-ins can come to actually respond here. Units coming in, but that is a big, big drop. And all of Todd's forces are going to have to come back. Loads of probes pulled off the mineral line. Damage done here. That was sloppy, if I'm honest, from Todd. It really was.
And, the drop on the natural came back in. Probes not mining. Drop in the main. The loss of the Nexus, and Puma gets out. Zealots finally go to work in the main base of Puma here, picking up a lot more SCV kills and really tallying that count over 30 figures now. That's pretty sick. Oh, no, wait. They target Marines, so it stays at 26.
Never mind. Yeah, I'm not really sure why I did that, but yeah, Todd slips up a bit, which is unfortunate, considering his amazing control at the start of this game. He's just a little bit sloppy here and there, and you can't get sloppy against Puma. You can't, because he is world-class. He will destroy you. He will break you. And his TVP, yeah, you don't mess with that.
Yeah, it really is good. And upon approaching 3-3, well, I guess it's not quite done, but it's near completion. Todd has a very large army advantage here, 107 versus 90, and he's going to go up here and engage. This is a fantastic place to engage. He can storm the ramp as well and really prevent Puma from denying or stopping him killing this third base.
Yeah, he misses the storm there, but no cancel goes off on that, and more damage done to the orbital. He's force fielded in it. I'm very surprised he doesn't go to snipe the orbital here, but he's more interested in killing SCVs, and that orbital's going to get away. So, an opportunity there, I feel, potentially missed here. But right now, Puma is trying to gather his army up. It's not very big. The army supply is 128 to 100, so that's not so great at all. He has to stay bunched up, but if he does that, he's going to get stormed. The storms are coming in from the side. He's got to be really careful. EMP goes off and manages to... I don't think it even hit that High Templar, actually, so that really doesn't matter all that much, but there are more High Templar available. Another storm goes down. Puma walks right into it, and Puma's getting picked to pieces again.
Yeah, he is indeed, and this is looking really, really good, and if he gets a good engagement here, this will be so sick.
Oh, the surround is massive. He's devastating Puma right here, but will Puma be able to hold on? If the Zealots go down, then he'll be able to tear through the remainder of this force. Puma going for it. He's got counter stim here, and suddenly Todd's unit's caught out. No blink available either, so in he goes, and Puma trying to smash this army to pieces. Trading, of course, very well here, but I have to wonder what's going to happen when these Zealots come in. Well, I think there's only one conclusion, and that's the thing, isn't it? Todd's got the better economy. He can afford to make losses like that.
Yeah, and this tech switch over to Colossus is almost nail in the coffin here. Is 3 Colossus. Good luck. How many Vikings do you have? Oh, wait, you have 1, and that's the patrol move Viking that's been outside the main base for the entire of the game. He only has a single starport. Let's have a look. He has scanned and has seen the Colossus switch, but once again, he isn't building them. He has no Medivacs left as they have no energy, so he has to build more Medivacs, but at the same time, he has to build Vikings, and it's a fine line here, and the Colossus switch would be the nail in the coffin. And Todd, even though he could go kill his opponent, decides to, settle and build cannons in the middle.
Let's chill. Let's build cannons in the middle of the map. Let's get a Colossus count that is nigh on unstoppable. You can't really blame him for that. It might not be the most entertaining thing, but it sure as hell is the best way to secure the win. And let's be honest, he is down 2-0 in this group already. He has got to play it safe.
And indeed he will. Observers in key locations, and like at the north side, does see that third baseman planted down again. Puma's upgrades, they're only just about to finish at 2-2. Todd has the +1 shields coming in, and he just loaded up the Warp Prism now with 2 High Templar, and he will be looking to go ahead and storm that mineral line here. There's a lot to be able to kill here, but will Puma be able to stop it?
Yeah, that's a good question. If the Storm nails this mineral line, that is going to be devastating for Puma, honestly, because he's almost mined out here, and here they come. Storm's coming in, and wow, he actually didn't get much with that. He really did miss the majority of the mineral line.
Wow, that's could have done a lot more, but at the same time, it's still fine, I think, to kill just a few here and there. But the more important thing is that Colossus count. The Vikings now being constructed with +1 ship weapons too, but there's 6 Colossus there, and there's another one joining the fray, and another one being chronoboosted out. So this is getting pretty ugly here for Evil Genius's superstar.
What are you going to do against that, really? He's 200 now. It's 135 to 86, and there's 3 Vikings against that many Colossus with +3 and +1 shields. So what are you going to do? This is going to hit before +1 ship weapon even comes out. This looks nigh on unstoppable.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it doesn't even just look it is. And Warp Prism finally goes down, but Todd does move up now with his army, and this is almost impossible, if not impossible, here for Puma.
It's looking fairly unlikely, isn't it? If Todd decides to eventually, attack, then he should actually secure the win here. Not really sure what he's waiting for, because he can't build any more units. He actually has 1 supply, so I suppose he can build an observer, but that's really not what he needs at the moment. Actually, come to think of it, it kind of is, because he's worried about cloak ghosts, but I don't believe those ghosts have cloak, and I would be correct in that assumption. Doesn't have the cash for it, so being a little bit overcautious, but securing the win by the looks of it, and I don't think Puma's going to be able to fight this. I really don't.
Yeah, and being 0-2 down in the tournament, only 1 game away from losing everything, it makes sense to be this passive. And pretty good feedbacks there, good EMPs also, but wow, there's so many Zealots at 3-3-1.
Here comes the Zealot train. Oh, wow. And it's rolling right over Puma at the moment. Chew, bloody chew. And the Storm goes down to the center as well. A lot of damage done to Todd's army. He's actually pushed back, if you can believe that. Puma holds on, but in comes another set of warpins, and this army it's not stoppable at this stage, I don't think. Puma trying to hold on with everything he's got. The Archon just does not give a damn at this stage. SCV's being pulled off the line just to be thrown into the meat grinder of those 3-3 Zealots. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the GG. And Todd secures the first win in this series and a good confidence boost going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Though this game was decided almost at the 5-minute mark, with that opening that set Puma so far behind. So it's actually surprising that this game went to 26 minutes. Drops there were key for Puma actually in pulling back, and he did well, but Todd was at such an advantage, and as long as he didn't drop the ball, really, really drop it off a building, then this is fine.
Yeah, and he didn't. He had it. He made a few slip-ups here and there, but overall, his game was really solid. Quite passive, but really solid. He played a great macro game, and he crushed Puma at the end of the day. Puma took a dicey start, I feel, and it didn't pay off for him. Simple as that. Against the lesser player, maybe. Maybe it could have shut him down, but Todd's defense was superb. Absolutely superb. Magnifique, as they would say in his native tongue. Brilliant.
Really is brilliant. That was good. And we'll look forward to game number 2 now. Will Todd be able to recover in his group, or will he go and lose everything? We'll have to find out.
Well, I guess we will. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, game 2 of Todd versus Puma. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final series of our Super Sunday Smash special thingy. It is Evil Genius's Puma. He is in the red trunks and he is playing Terran to the south of the Terminus versus his opponent. It is Fnatic's Todd, currently leading 1 game in this best of 3 series. He is playing Protoss to the west.
Talking about Smash Brothers, the old game, not the new one, was, oh my god, so good.
The good one, you mean?
Yeah, the real one.
One on the N64.
Oh, so good. I used to play Fox. Who did you play?
I used to play Pikachu. Because
really?
That's just how I roll. I roll like that, man. I roll like Pikachu.
I've played some annoying Pikachus, man.
Yeah, trust me, I was an annoying-ass Pikachu. I can guarantee you that. But they actually do have a competitive scene for Smash Brothers. The problem is, it's like, I love the fact that there's an esports scene around it. I love the fact that a game has an esports scene in general. It doesn't matter what game it is, but it would be like... So it's got better now, but the way that the competitive scene used to be is it would be like taking StarCraft 2, taking out 3/4 of the units, and only playing on 1 map because everything else is unbalanced. So they have to get rid of it.
What was the map called? It was like Final Destination or something, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I can't remember. It's like you play no items, something. Jigglypuff only or something. I don't even know, honestly. I did not keep track of that, but it does kind of scare me. It's cool that they've got a scene though, and that's great. More esports the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely, and weirdly enough, we do see Todd opening up with a gateway expand. Well, I guess it's not really that weird, considering that he probably could be a little bit scared here, considering that first number game, and we do see Puma open up with a refinery.
Yeah, that's interesting from Puma here. And usually Terminus has a tendency to go with long games, but Puma might try to apply some kind of aggression again. How effective is 1-1-1 on this map?
It's a gamble, considering Puma hasn't seen where his opponent is spawned. If it's cross position, it's very difficult. If it's left or right, it can work. And 1-1-1 can work on most maps, but it's a gamble here.
Interesting. Will he take that gamble, considering he's 1 game down? And bearing in mind, of course, Puma is in a position where he could go 0-2 because he already lost to Red. And it would be pretty terrible, I feel, for him to lose to Red and then Todd, because I'm sure he feels that he's much more confident against those players than he is against Marine King and then Boxer. Yeah,
that would be a little bit weird if that did happen. And Puma's so good, so I don't think it would. But we'll see. We'll see. That's what we're here for. He does go for the reactor onto the barracks and takes out a gas here, so he's going to be expanding behind it. So this is a little bit weird play, especially considering that the probe had seen the gas and may try to go up and get and see the reactor, and it may look like a 1-1-1, but in reality it's actually an expansion play. So a little mind games here, but in Todd's base we do see double gas going down, probably just going to be for an expansion play here.
Big center expand,
the SUV is going to come in, so he could still do something, but it's probably here just for the expansion.
That's a possibility, and it's going to get nailed down quite quickly by that Stalker. Should be picked up momentarily. Down it goes. There we go. And interesting stuff here from Puma, I've got to say. And what will Todd's response be? I think, honestly, it's Todd. He'll play ultra safe, and, well, he must be playing ultra safe if he's dumping down 3 gates before expand, or is he going to try and apply a little bit of pressure here? He's not really in a position to do it. I mean, he could put down a pylon down to the bottom here, but the question is he going to do it?
Yeah, I wonder what's going through Todd's mind. And upon seeing the refinery, he could be thinking, well, you know, 1-1-1 isn't that good on this map. 2-Rex is possible. So 3-Gate obviously shuts down 2-Rex immediately, but 2-Rex isn't that much of a popular build, and it just seems like Todd's being more safe than anything, as he, you know, hasn't turned down a pylon, is going to expand behind it, which makes perfect sense considering, you know, he's almost out of the tournament if he was to lose the rest of the series, but at the same time, he's 1-0 up in this one, so...
Yeah, he's going to be really uber cautious at this point. Just want to point out, of course, that these guys are in Korea. This is being played on Korean servers, so lag is not a factor. Todd has been in Korea for quite some time. Camping out there like a little French hermit, learning all sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And still, this probe does see that there's no expansion from, you know, Puma. He's like, right, well, I guess it's going to be something along those lines, pretty much aggression. So, and there is a scan going down here too, and the Marines poke out, kill the probe, and this is more of a fake than anything here, as we, of course, we know, as the hackers in this game, that it is an expansion play. Todd, on the other hand, doesn't. So he's been very cautious right now, of course, upside, building more sentries and units, but he does very smartly call the bluff by going to the Xel'Naga Tower and checking if units are actually coming. So good play there by Todd, not taking too much of indirect damage through building unnecessary units.
Yeah, I would certainly want to make sure that he doesn't do that. And there is the expansion coming from Puma, just about to land down here. His economy looking in a good state, especially compared to Todd, who did go 3-gate before Nexus, so it does take a while to get things up and running. And you know what? I think maybe some people have noticed this by Todd, but he loves observers. Like, he builds so many observers. He actually had 2 queued up there. He decided not to build the second because it has kind of got him killed in previous matches, so he's got to be a bit cautious, but he likes to have usually 3 observers in this matchup.
Yeah, he does. He's very scared of drops. I mean, a lot of people are against good Terran players, and Stalker does check the natural and sees Marine Marauders, so it does pull out and get away, so he knows what he's playing up against. So, and he has a pylon down here on the right. Of course, this is going to be to check drops, or could be something to be thrown down, but I expect Todd, upon seeing Marauders, just to kind of build Immortals, unless he throws down Double Forge. But the Marine Marauders do not quite catch a Stalker in that center.
Yeah, it's good that he got out with that. And this is what I'm concerned about. There's this Ghost Academy that's come down by Puma. It's quite early, and it's gone unscouted thus far. And actually, if the Observer continues to go in this direction, it's not going to see it. So what do you think is going to end up happening here?
Well, it's going to be, of course, from Puma, a 2-base Ghost push, potentially.
Yep.
And Todd has been showing, in not just this series, but in every game versus Terran, he prefers Templar tech over Colossus. Yeah. So we just seen Puma being smart in his decision making, but we actually see additional gateways going down here for Todd. He hasn't taken the gas on his natural, so he's not really looking to tech up, and he is building Immortals. So that throws him to a total of 6 gateways, and his pro production is at 36. It's not actually that high, and I feel the one in the production tab is just because he slipped up and just kind of muscle memory built that probe, but he's going to be going for a pretty strong push here, especially considering he's building another Immortal, then he'll go. But with Ghosts in play, they don't have EMPs, but they will do soon. This could get shut down quite easily.
Yeah, they could. Just a couple of seconds until EMP is actually available here. Puma's got to be careful not to let those Ghosts get out of position before they can fire, but EMP is now in effect, and Todd actually can't go up against that. Did he spot the Ghosts? He should have. The Ghosts should have been revealed, I feel, in that composition there as they ranged forward just a little bit. And Todd just splitting up a little bit. He doesn't want to lose anything there, and just planting down 4 very regimented force fields, saying, no, absolutely not. You're not getting in here, at least for the moment.
And upon seeing the Immortals, Puma's like, holy crap, time to get a Medivacs out because they're going to be doing damage. And he knows he's actually in trouble because he can put 2 and 2 together, and this pretty much is going to be this 2-base push. So he now has to build a bunker and is going to return home and sit on the defensive side until +1, for example, is finished, until Medivacs are actually out. But Todd is pressing the issue when he is bringing a probe with him, and he's going for it, man. He's going for the kill.
You know what I'm worried about? This one gateway. This gateway has not been turned into a warp gate. Now, finally, it has. This means the army that's coming at Puma is smaller than it could have been. And really, against a player of the caliber of Puma, you've got to get that biggest stonking army you can. It's going to be able to stomp over your opponent and crush him completely. And a few extra units may have made the difference here.
I'm a little bit worried here for Puma. He hasn't got Medivacs out yet, neither has he got +1. And Todd's set up, man. This is it. This is all or nothing. This game, he has to win this unless if he doesn't, he's out of the tournament. That's it. Not just the series. He'll be 0-3 down, and he has a lot of Sentry and Guardian Shield energy. More Zealots and another Immortal into the fray. Medivacs is so close to coming out. So is +1 halfway, and this is going to be a scary push for Puma to hold on to.
Yeah, nice little poke out there by Puma just to pick off one of those Stalkers as well as the small flanking force. All of the Immortals are actually down to the side here, and it looks like he's going to go for this 2-pronged attack, looking to a bunker bust here through the side, and Guardian Shields up on all sides here. Bunker goes down immediately, second bunker about to fall as well. Good EMP goes down just to take out a few shields here and there, but nowhere near enough. There's still quite a lot of energy, but this counter push has got to catch him out of position. Splitting his army up has actually turned out to be one of the worst things he could have done. Force fields have been deployed. The aggressive pylon then eliminated. SCVs pulled off the line as well. And here comes another counterattack. Nicely done there by Todd to nail down a lot of SCVs against those force fields. But that was not as effective as I would have liked.
And Puma knows all he has to do is hold. He's got tech advantage, upgrade advantage. All he has to do is hold and counterattack and win. So that's why we see so many SCVs within his army. And Todd once again reinforcing has the supply advantage. 86 supply versus 65. The buffering from the SCVs is going to enable that +1. It could almost be like a +2 attack because the SCVs will buffer damage, allowing the Marine and Marauders to do more damage, deal more damage before the actual army of Todd gets in there. But there's a good amount of Zealots. They will easily kill off that SCV line, and I'm getting scared very much so for Puma. He does have 6 medivacs though to aid in, and Todd gets ready to go.
Yeah, will he be able to do it? The medevac energy is not that high, though, so let's see. In a sustained fight, those medevacs will run out of energy very quickly. There's the split right there, just to try and smash his way through the army, cutting it in half there, but the bunker's still up from the side, doing a lot of damage. Actually, target firing the sentries down as well, and the Zealot count is dying off here, and that means a counter push is going to end up happening from Puma, and in full retreat now is the army of Todd, not with enough units. These Immortals are getting caught out. Puma with a vicious counter attack, crushing the remainder of Todd's army. Reinforcements coming in from the back, but it's nowhere near enough, and Puma holds and does immense damage to Todd.
Oh man, he's just crushed this, and now with that upgrade and medivac advantage, he could go the entire way back in. The cancellation of those units, they don't even come in to help out the Immortal and Stalkers.
And the Stalkers die. It's as simple as that. More Zealots have been warped in for no reason. There's the GG. Todd realizes it right there. His attack completely failed, and he had no chance of getting out of that. And that is Puma drawing this series level 1 apiece with an exceptional hold. We'll be back in just a few short moments, folks, to see, will Todd go out of this tournament? Will he manage it? Will he push his way through? Or will Puma secure a win and get himself on the board? We'll find out very shortly. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this final map of Show 2 of IronSquid. And my oh my, which map is this? It is Dual Site. Puma's going to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, very much so, and wow, this is going to be a rough ride. If he does decide to go 1-1-1, it's very strong, especially on this map, and not even just this map, it's Puma playing it, the monster of 1-1-1, so he's going to be looking to abuse that probably here, and the reason why it is strong on this map, because there's so many narrow areas around the natural of Todd that any location he sets up on, it's very difficult for Todd to actually engage in efficiently, sorry. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the map where we've seen so many great Protoss fall against Puma, and indeed one of the only Protoss to beat him on this map was in fact Hero in the DreamHack Winter Grand Finals, and that was a hard-fought battle. And that was Hero, who has qualified now for Code S, and is incredibly good. Can Todd deal with that if Puma decides to go for it? But let's find out. Is he going to take gas? Will he not?
And I think he's going to play pretty straightforward. And to be honest, if I was Todd, I would do the same thing that Hero did in those DreamHack games too, and take a risk. And say, all right, this is his map. And make sure, of course, that he scouts and checks, does he take Refinery or not? And then take a gamble and go Stargate. Stargate is the best way to deal with 1-1-1 because you get Phoenixes out. You can shoot down the Banshees as they come in. You can pick off Ravens. You can jump in and pick off Mules. And that harassment slows the 1-1-1 down so much that when it does come, you have units of your own, even Immortals of your own too, considering it's a different tech, and then you are unable to lift up tanks. So Todd goes in immediately for the gas, doesn't even look at harassing, sees it and is like, I think I know what's coming.
Yeah, I think I can predict that. But the danger, I've got to point this out, of making an assumption that the guy with the so-called, and he called it this, the indestructible 1-1-1 build, it's like, ooh, he's showing all signs of going 1-1-1, what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't, and what if I make an assumption that loses the series and kicks me out of the tournament? And that's the situation Puma has just put Todd in. That's why I'm scared for him.
Absolutely. So far, I mean, he's banked up 100 gas, but oh wait, he threw. Oh, okay, there's the factory. Wait, okay.
Yeah.
So the factory's in a bit of a weird location. Doesn't make too much difference, but looks pretty much standard. So far, Todd, Cybergrenix Core, about to finish up, has taken double gas in with all 3, but wait a minute, he throws down a Talib on the barracks. No, this is so sick by Puma. This is so sick. He's not even gonna go for a 1-1-1 here. He's gonna be building Marauders from here, and as long as he denies that information from Todd, Todd could actually walk into a wall if he does decide to take that gamble we talked about. But so far not happening, but mind games coming out here from Puma.
Yeah, definitely. We've got this pylon down here. It's not really going to spot anything. In fact, it's not even within warping distance. I'm not sure why it's there, really. Maybe it's to spot something coming over there. Stargate is coming up, but what we're going to see here is, I mean, it's looking really like Marauder Hellion, which is an absolutely fantastic mix up against what Todd's going to have.
The probe why are you on patrol move? Why don't go up you? Oh, if he just had gone up the ramp, he'd seen a tech lab. The Marines were looking for the probe elsewhere. Go up there, see a tech lab, confirmation. But now he has no idea, and the Marauder is out. And yeah, the Stargate come down, so the gamble has been taken here, and he's about to get hard hit if he starts to build Phoenixes.
Yeah, he really is, because what's that going to do against this kind of build? Now, oh, I love that. I love that. Puma pulls the Marauder back, knowing his opponent hasn't seen it yet. Admittedly, he now has, because he holds the Xel'Naga Tower, whatever the hell you can call that. There's 5 question marks is what that is, because nobody knows what it is. But the Marauder's now been spotted, and we've got Void Rays coming out from Todd here. Will he be able to push this back?
Yeah, this is pretty sick. This is really good, nice for Todd here that he realizes, oh, good, Marauders Void Rays are pretty good here, and he's not Puma won't be able to scout it either. And Todd has a north pylon being planted down, so he will be aggressive from here.
That supply box not going to help him. Every second counts here, as far as I'm concerned, and he, unfortunately, planting that pylon down there, left himself open to it being sniped. But now there's a Void Ray on the field, and there is nothing to stop it. There are 2 Marines total, and here comes the counter push from the one and only Todd.
Yeah, and this is going to be really difficult because there's, what, 3 Marines out, he doesn't have a reactor, he doesn't have combat shields or stim, of course, and this Void Ray is going to shut down everything, and the Stalkers and Zealots already warped in at that north pylon, anticipating the return here, and Todd catches an SCV and is going to work on these Marauders, but these Marauders actually will go down, so this is not the best trader here for Todd if he loses that other Stalker.
No. Yeah, which you will. You don't send up 2 Stalkers against 3 Marauders. Marauders have a tendency to chew them to pieces. In fact, 2 on 2, the Marauders still end up winning. But there we go. The bunker is in place. Is there anything to deal with that Void Ray? There's a Viking on the way out. That is the savior here, potentially, of Puma. But this is why the age-old axiom exists, Apollo. You do not wall off against Protoss because this can happen. And now he's going to be able to work away at this. But there are SCVs there to repair it.
Yeah, and the Viking is out now, so it will push it back, but Todd is gearing up for a big attack. A Hellion does get into the main base here of Todd, but we do have a Stalker finally going to shut this down, and does lose a bit of a probe there, and it doesn't look like he'll lose anything else from that, but nice little harassment there from that factory on the lower ground, but the Viking doing damage to that Void Ray, almost killing it outside there.
Yeah, this is not so great for Todd, considering his control is absolutely fantastic. We bring up the age-old, horrendous cliche of Warcraft 3 micro, but we saw his control in the first game in this series, and it was absolutely exceptional. This is interesting. Puma's continuing to build Hellions from that lower factory, and I don't think... Yeah, Todd doesn't know about it. This could be potentially risky. If Todd goes all for it here, which is what he's trying to do, he wants to crush Puma right now, and he is not able to defend against some kind of Hellion attack, then that could be devastating, but... Right now, that's not currently happening. A single Hellion now moving out on the minimap. Todd just gathering more reinforcements. He's brought a Phoenix into play. Phoenix aren't actually that great against Vikings, sadly, because they don't do much damage against armored units, which Vikings, of course, are. Puma's holding this for the moment. Stuck on one base, but then again, so is Todd.
I wonder what the Phoenix is for. I don't really know. Maybe, I mean, it can take a bit of damage from the Vikings while the Void Rays charge up and start dealing their DPS, but that one Hellion is going to go into the main base here. Todd doesn't have enough money to warp in a unit, but he does very shortly. No, actually, 65 out of 66. No. He can't warp in anything here. He doesn't have the supply.
No, he can't. We're going to check that out back as this engagement comes in, and it's not doing a huge amount of damage here. He places down the force field, but he's not able to stop the repairs here. Do you see the probe line? It isn't there anymore. Puma got into an ideal position and no micro came in from Todd at all. He lost his entire probe line to a single Hellion. He's down to 7 probes. Unbelievable, heroic Hellion effort. And now he goes into the main. This is a trap. He can't go in here. He'll be absolutely crushed by what Puma's got.
Wow, Todd had this game and now it is gone. Oh my god, the engagement wasn't even nice there from Todd on that ramp. Zealots at the back, what the hell is going on there? They're the ones that meant to pull down the supply depots, and Todd, I feel that he lost that game rather than Puma winning it.
19 workers were killed by that single Hellion. Well, maybe 18, but a ton. There is no way in a million years that should have happened. Puma got it into exactly the right location, right here that I'm showing on the map. It was perfect. The pros line up to die. It was a suicide train. And unfortunately, Todd is now in a position where I don't feel he can advance. He really can't. He's 0-3 in the group. It would have to take some kind of cosmic miracle for him to go on in this tournament. That is really disappointing there from Todd. But Puma gets a win on the board, which is great considering his early loss in Show 1 against Red.
Absolutely. So it's not looking too bad for Puma, but Todd, well, is 0-3. I don't even think it's possible to come back from here.
I don't think so. I think people would actually have to fall out of the group for illness or something along those lines. I don't think you can do it, really. Especially after that 0-2 loss against the one and only MarineKingPrime. It's so sad for Todd, isn't it? Because he's shown some sparks of brilliance in this tournament, but it wasn't enough, and he's been taken down now by 3 different players. I tell you, he's having problems against Korean Terrans at the moment. Puma, Boxer, and then MarineKingPrime. All of them take the games from him. It's pretty grim, but Puma looking good right now, and is back on the board, which is fantastic, and that puts him equal to Rhett. And at the end of Show 2, we have our current standings being Boxer leading the group 2 series to 0. We then have MarineKingPrime taking a series 2-0. Hasn't obviously played his second one as of yet. We've then got Rhett 1-1 in the group, and Puma also 1-1 in the group, with Todd right at the bottom at 0-3.
Yeah, still a lot to play for everybody, aside from Todd, unfortunately. But it's still a very interesting group, and it can still go either way.
Yeah, it can. And why don't you tell us a little bit about the matches that we're going to be seeing on Wednesday?
So on Wednesday, we will be having Puma versus Marine King. That's going to be a very important game for Puma, being 1-1. And Marine King can actually stretch it to 2-0 within his group if he picks up that win. Then we will be looking at Rhett versus Todd. Even though Todd looks pretty much out, it's a very, very important game for Rhett there. Of course, being equal with Puma at that 1-1 point there. So very important game for Rhett. That's going to be a great show.
Yeah, it is absolutely. There's no question about that. So make sure you do not miss it, ladies and gentlemen. Check out IronSquid.tv for all the information you could possibly desire about this tournament. You'll find the Facebook link there, the Twitter link there, the schedule, as well as articles about this tournament. And you can check out all the different groups. Currently, we're focusing on Group A, and then we'll be moving on to Group B, which is nonetheless ridiculously stacked. What a great tournament this has been so far. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Total Biscuit.
And I've been D'Apollo.
We're done. Good night, and we'll see you next time.